Hey, in today's video, I'm going to share with you the west side of Portland, Oregon metro market, housing market, how it's doing fall of 2024. I'll give you some updates on the rates and some of the suburb cities where you actually save money by buying, even in the current market. And there's a few cities that actually it's better to rent. I'll give you the example of that. Welcome back to Shawn Realty Podcast. My name is Shawn Yu from Portland, Oregon. And let's just look at the overall annual appreciation change compared to last year about this time. So this is accounting for the seasonality too, because in October, typically the demand slows down, the price comes down, the days on the market gets a little bit longer. And so you're going to see this very slow feeling like a market. But if you compare that to like September market, it feels like the market is really crashing. But if you account for seasonality, it's kind of, that's what it does every year pretty much, except for 2020, which was an anomaly. So one thing I noticed on the west side of the Portland average is that it's basically negative 0.63%. So it hasn't changed that much. However, the median days on the market is 74 for the season being. It's a little bit slow, but not by that much. One thing, the next topic that I want to talk about is the cities where you can actually save a lot of money by buying, and cities better to rent. Let's look at the city better to rent, which is Lake Oswego, because Lake Oswego median price is $1.5 million, but the median rent is only $3,700, $3,750. So the purchase price versus median rent ratio is so big. This is one of the cities that it's better to rent if you're going to live there for, let's say, 5 years. If you're gonna live there for more than 5 years, I may still rent up to about year 7, but it's kind of anomaly. It's one of those things, and because of that, so because the rental market doesn't really support, in my opinion, these markets fluctuate more. It goes up and down more. As you can see, it's negative 9.7% compared to last year. And as you can see, the buying cost, the monthly mortgage payment at 20% down payment with a 6.5% rate is like $7,500 a month. So it is expensive city. Compared to actually Northwest Portland is typically like number 2 or number 3 in terms of the pricing, high pricing, but the Northwest Portland has softened quite a bit. It could be related to some part of the Intel layoffs. There's a little bit more inventory, and the houses are sitting on the market a lot longer than my previous experience. And the median rent has dropped as well compared to September. September Northwest Portland median rent was $23.45, and it dropped to $22.80. So now let's look at the cities it makes sense to buy actually. So these are these 3 cities right here: Beaverton, Tigard, and Hillsborough. The median prices aren't that high compared to the other surrounding cities, but the median rent is actually pretty strong. It's kind of ironic to see like Wesleyan has a lower rent, even like Northwest Portland. This is probably one of the lowest rent that I've seen recently, but the demand in these 3 cities are pretty high, it seems. And if I just zoom out to 5-year renting net loss, and this is what I want you to pay attention to. So if you rent, these are the monthly savings. In Beaverton, $487 per month. I know this is not apple to apple comparison because median sale price per square foot, that number, and median rent price, you're not going to rent and buy the same kind of house. However, this is just baseline that I'm giving you, the sort of like a comparison numbers. just roughly you're going to be saving about $500 in Beaverton if you rent. So the saving isn't as big. However, because the median rent is so high, if you keep paying that for the next 5 years, you're going to be spending about $140,000. Now, in my opinion, that's a big loss. So where the purchase price is low, but the rent price is high, those are the cities it's better to buy in. And it's better to buy your first house in compared to like Lake Oswego type of places where the purchase price is really high and rent price is really low. Unless you have to go there for a job or school or something like that. I would typically recommend first-time home buyers to buy in this lower price range for the purchase and higher rent areas. I hope that makes sense. And I wanted to give you more visual representation of this rent versus buy. So as you can see, here's the West Portland average, here's Northwest, and then Beaverton, Tiger, Hillsborough, they're way cheaper. And Southwest Portland is actually getting cheaper too, but slightly higher than these three cities. And then these three cities, Lake Oswego, Westland, Tualatin, their price is pretty high. So these are the areas it's better to rent. This is the suburban cities that it's better to buy. That's what I wanted to point out. What else do we have today? Talked about the mortgage rates, seasonality. So yeah, just know that during this time, market slows down quite a bit. Now, lastly, election is in about 11 days. I made a separate video about will the election outcome change the real estate market trajectory. I talked about the policy change and the consumer confidence, and of course interest rate, regulation change, and then investors' behavior, and then foreign investors' behavior. Those are going to be the things that is going to be determined by who gets elected, what kind of policy making and changes are going to be happening will affect the housing market pretty in big way. So that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. If you hit that like button, subscribe, that's going to help my channel greatly. So thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye now.